Hello, Dawgpound South campers. This is the Cleveland Browns Dawgpound South podcast, part of the Fanatical Elves Network, part of the Fans First Sports Network. I'm your host, Steve Gill. It's Draft Day. I hope everybody has found the movie Draft Day on your favorite streaming service so you can watch it. Vontae Mack, no matter what. All right, so let's talk a little particulars about the NFL draft, which starts tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. I know the Browns don't have a dog in the hunt in the first round, and they won't be picking in the first round. It'll be a long night. What I expect to see tonight, I don't really know. Your first two questions, will New England trade out to gather more picks? I think that would be a wise choice. They don't have a lot of talent on their roster, and they can stockpile picks. Will Minnesota jump up and take a quarterback? Will Denver take a quarterback? I've heard that they're thinking about not doing it. That would be stupid. Quick, name the Denver quarterbacks. Yeah, that's what I thought. So, what to expect Friday? Let's talk about the Browns' first night of the draft, which is tomorrow night. Starts at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. The second round, each team has 7 minutes to make their pick. And from the third round on, it's only 5 minutes. So if you're thinking about where the Browns would pick, and I'm going on Eastern time zone here, starts at 7. And everybody uses their 7 minutes. It could be around 9:30. I don't think everybody will use their 7 minutes, so it could be anywhere Eastern time between 9 and 9:30. That's just something to think about on pick 54. As for Saturday, it starts at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central time, my time. If the Browns do not acquire a fourth round pick, it might be, I don't know, a little bit after around 1 o'clock, after 1 o'clock before they take the free. The Saturday goes pretty quick. It's pretty fast. Not even the networks that cover the draft can keep up on it. They always do last 5 picks, last 6 picks, and then they do their analysis, and that helps them catch up a little bit. Okay, so first round, what Browns fans want to see is they want to see a lot of panic teams going quarterback. They want to see somebody stupid enough to take a running back in the first round. And they also would like to see runs on secondary, corners or safeties. The Browns are pretty set at those positions. If teams, and this is what happens. Teams get on a panic, and then there's a run at a certain position. I've seen drafts that 10 offensive tackles were taken in the first round. I can't see that happening. I hope that doesn't happen, because I'd like the Browns to take an offensive tackle with their first pick at 54. That would solve a lot of their cap problems. Well, not really problems. That would help them sustain their salary cap in the future as they progress with Deshaun Watson's contract. So, will there be somebody who makes a stupid move? Of course, somebody always makes a stupid move. You got to wonder what Dallas is going to do. They're not going to pay their quarterback, and he holds all the cards. Can he? It's just Dak Prescott is in the driver's seat in negotiation with Dallas. Dallas thinks they can win the Super Bowl every year, and guess what? They can't even get out of the first round. So let's see what happens tonight and see what players are pushed down into the second round. So as for anything else, like I said, I'd like to see him take a couple offensive linemen. I think tight end is in play. I've heard they're interested in the quarterbacks, but I can't imagine them taking a quarterback tonight or tomorrow night. I would imagine that they're happy with DTR's health progress, and that they might get an undrafted rookie free agent, a camp arm to bring in. Wide receiver, I saw a little study that was done of the drafts the last 20 years, year 2000 to 2019. and hit rate percentages on certain positions, wide receiver was the worst at 27%. The number one position in those drafts that had a hit rate was center, 92%. Browns aren't interested in center. They got Posick, they got Luke Whippler to back him up, and they got Dunn as their emergency 3. The next two positions that had hit rates were tackle, offensive tackle at 52%, and guard at 50%. Those are the only 3 positions in the last, from 2000 to 2019, that had 50% or better hit rate. So keep that in mind. Age guard rails. Andrew Berry loves him some age guard rails. RAS scores, relative athletic scores. Also keep those in mind. So when you're looking at 54, I know a lot of people want wide receiver or defensive lineman. So if you pick a wide receiver, and the Browns keep 7 wide receivers, I personally think they'll keep 6. Then if they keep 6, then he will be your number 6 wide receiver. You know, that doesn't make any sense. Defensive tackle. The hit rate on that same study, year 2000 to 2019 for defensive tackles was 40%. That's because rookie defensive linemen take longer to develop. Look at Alex Wright, his rookie year. Last year when he was filling in, productive, very productive. A sack in 4 consecutive games. That's what you're thinking. So if they take a defensive tackle at 54, you're going to have to either cut Ika or Hurst. So, and then you're going to have a rookie who's not going to be productive in the rotation. I really don't think they're going to take a defensive tackle. So let's talk a little bit around the league news right after this break. All right, the big hubbub of the last couple of days has been the Bengals. T. Higgins, of course, asked for a trade, and he's asked for another trade. Trey Hendrickson has now also asked for a trade. So what's this all about? The Bengals have cap room. But the problem is, you know, if you compare them to the Browns, they don't have cash. That's their problem. When somebody gets a guaranteed contract, the entire amount of that guaranteed contract goes into escrow. So Mike Brown would have to put all guarantees in an escrow account. He doesn't have that kind of cash. I've said this before. Successful franchises, the Eagles, for example, they use the cash upfront exemption in the CBA to perfection. The Browns use it because they have a filthy rich owner. You're going to see the Chargers use it because their owner is rich. The Panthers are going to probably start using it because their owner is filthy rich. The Washington Commanders also, brand new filthy rich owner, and even the Denver Broncos with that Walton money, they'll start doing it. You can't sit back and be a billionaire and say you're an NFL owner and not spend the upfront cash. So that's the difference between the Browns and the Bengals. You know, I heard a Cincinnati beat writer say that he had talked to Trey Hendrickson, and Hendrickson, he wants a long-term contract with the Bengals. He likes it there. He's happy there. They don't want to talk to him. They've been trying to negotiate one for about a month, and they just don't want to talk about it. So his options are, 1, sign a long-term contract with the Bengals. And this is what Hendrickson told a reporter. Number 2, get traded. And number 3, if neither of the first 2 happen, he's going to retire. T. Higgins has thought about retirement. Once a player starts talking about retirement, whether it be a threat or they're really considering it, you can't, retirement's in their future. It's like Joel Bitonio. He had mentioned it at the end of the season news conference that, you know, he thought about retiring, but he's going to come back. Well, you got to get a protection for him. That's why if there is a guard available on day 3, you've got to pick him. I'm thinking Ben Coleman, TCU. He would be perfect to take over for Bitonio next year. So that's the Bengals. Over in Steeler land, there are rumors that they're not going to pick up Justin Fields' 5th-year option. And why would you? It's like $25 million. And why would Fields want them to? First of all, and right now they have their number one, number two quarterbacks on 1-year deals. That's it. 1-year deals. And the Steelers don't spend money. And the Steelers know when to get rid of players. If they're not good enough or coming or past their prime, they let them walk. So if I'm Justin Fields and I get an opportunity to play, which I think he will, because I don't trust Russell Wilson as far as I can throw him, and he looks good, he can hit the open market next year and make a ton of money, more money than that 5th-year option. Let me remind you again, last year, 58 different starting quarterbacks in the NFL, which was a new league record. This league is obsessed with finding the right quarterback. That's why backup quarterbacks, bridge quarterbacks will always make money. Somebody like Jacoby Brissett will always have a contract. Somebody like Gardner Minshew will always have a quarterback. And then you'll look at the quarterback needy teams. Will Oakland take a quarterback, or are they going to ride Gardner Minshew? Like I mentioned, Denver Broncos. Who's their quarterback? I have no earthly idea. New England Patriots. Nothing against Jacoby Brissett, but he's not he's a 1-win, 2-loss type quarterback. He's a backup. He knows it. They know it. Then you got the Bears. They're going to make a huge mistake by taking this kid out of USC. I am not sold on him. And you've got Drake May. You've got, there's rumors that the Giants would trade up to get Drake May, and what are you going to do with Daniel Jones in that $40 million contract? And that's a perfect example. A team paid $40 million for Daniel Jones. That's ludicrous. So anyway, somebody's going to make a leap. Somebody's going to be really ridiculous and take Bo Nix in the first round, and he doesn't deserve it. Somebody is going to take J.J. McCarthy way too early, and he doesn't deserve it. Michael Penix, if the Raiders are smart, they'll draft him. He's the perfect Raider quarterback. And I don't care about how old these guys are. This is a result of the COVID years, when these guys got extra eligibility. They transferred from one school to another. You got Bo Nix, 6-year player. You've got Penix. This will happen, that older players will, especially quarterbacks, I'm just saying quarterbacks, will go in the first round where teams normally do not draft at that age. So tonight, if you're going to either watch draft day or watch the draft, I would suggest you watch draft day, because like I said, the Browns aren't going to be trading up in the first round. And I've said before that if they wanted to trade up from 54 into the second round, it would take the 54th pick and the 85th pick. I can't see Andrew Berry trading up for anybody and not having a third round pick. It's that 4th round I was watching. It's that pick 85. If he could turn that into a 4th round pick, drop down maybe 4 or 5 spots, 85 to down to 90 at the most, pick up a 4th, throw in one of those 7th round picks, probably the 227, and maybe a pick from next year, because they got 8 picks next year. I mean, they got a 1st, a 2nd, a 3rd, a 4th, no 5th. Remember that, 2 6th and 2 7th. He might chuck in a pick for next year and maybe try and pick up a 5th round for next year, so it can, stay in each round. But that's what I would look for on the of any trades. I would look for a trade down from 85 to get a 4th round pick, because I just can't see him going 85 to pick 156 without doing anything. So that's it. Real quick draft primer. Real quick news around the AFC North. Enjoy, like I said, enjoy the draft. Or if you can find the movie Draft Day on your favorite streaming service, I'd watch that instead. I'm thinking about, I got to be here tonight for a show. So, it's always good to see the movie Draft Day. I love that movie. So this has been the Cleveland Browns Dawgpound South podcast, part of the Fanatical L's Network, part of the Fans First Sports Network. I'm your host, Steve Gill. And again, I'd like to thank everybody for listening, for watching, for following, all of us, all the contributors here at the Fanatical L's Network. Look for our articles, look for our podcasts. We're just fans like you. Some of us are a little crazier. Some of us are a little more fanatical. But, you know, we're just like any Browns fans. We're like you, and we love the Cleveland Browns. So thanks for watching, and everybody, go Browns.